Okay, hello. Welcome to Pause at the Well for July 2025. Here we are. I'm Maria from Bloom a Life You Love, Integral Bloom, with Angela Marie from Grounded Dreamers. So let's start with a pause and a deep breath. Oh, and get present to what's something about your life that you're grateful for. Really allow that gratitude to be felt. Get present to it. And then take another beautiful breath in and let that breath oxygenate your cells and grow roots down into the earth. Let's ground into this space, the well, a source of inspiration and connection. And let's transition into our reading for the month of July.
All right, here we go.
Yes.
We're heading toward the second half of the year, and we can reflect back a little as to the journey that we've had and all the things that have occurred. A lot of changes this year energetically. They're sort of supposed to have happened in that way. A lot of discomfort for some of us, but here we are. And now our message going forward for July is surrender to the change. And
Yes.
it's a story of, adaptability and, um, being willing to modify that human condition that all of us experience, where we like things to be familiar and certain and planned out, and we don't really like unexpected occurrences. But that is where the living is, really, in these
Mm,
unexpected moments that have us go in a new direction, or assess where we are and make us think, oh, have I been too complacent or whatever. So our stories are always in motion, and if we would be along with them, we get to be in that flow. The surrender is being in the flow of change, and change is always there.
hmm
The next card I got is this morality card. This is our mental um, perception, our thought processes, our beliefs that are kind of stuck within us that are
hmm
falsely telling us that it has to be either everything's binary. It's good or it's bad, or it's happy or it's sad, and or there's never room for any in between because we're so wrapped up and tied down to those restrictive thoughts. So this
hmm
is something to pay attention to when change shows up, which it kind of always is every day. When it shows up, it's a matter of paying attention to having an awareness of what your thought response is. Like, oh, I can't do that. Or, who do I think I am to try to create more? And I can't, I'm okay with just this much. I don't need more. I don't need to grow. And that's limiting. That keeps us limited, and it eventually puts us in states of regret, remorse, maybe some guilt.
Scarcity driven.
And the scarcity doesn't bring us forward at all. Yeah. So that's just something to pay attention to, is what our minds are telling us.
Right.
And then I pulled the past. And
hmm
this is calling for us to release, let go. Um, um, the card says, and so I listened as my soul told me to let the past go so that I may awaken to how much I have grown.
Mm,
When we're stuck in what was, we don't get to, our perspective is a little too small in that way, right? We want to be able to see how far we've come and that it's not over. We're still going. We're still moving forward and growing. So
yeah.
a deep release into those things we're holding on to. And then we go from past to future. And now we have precognition. This says psychic ability and future vision. Now, this is taking your, using your mind in a more expansive way, right? To go ahead and use your imagination to see forward and what are my dreams? What are the things I want to accomplish? And
hmm
in the moments when we're feeling restricted and stuck, to know there's more out there, right? And to keep that
Hmm.
vision alive for ourselves. And that's what will get us keeping continuing on our path. And then I pulled the fairy, and this is flow energy, right? This is flow. And it says here, darling, don't you remember you're a badass?
Oh, I love
And
that.
then she says, keep winging it. Just keep going, right? Keep
Keep
going.
winging it, right? Fairy wings. Keep winging
Fairy
it.
wings, and use that energy to create, you know, and like a
Totally.
mantra that we could use for this mantra is like everything I touch turns to gold, or
Hmm.
my energy is always attracting magic. And
Hmm.
that's more, there's more of a relaxed and open and let's just see what crops up kind of an excitement to moving forward, which alleviates some of that mourning of the past stuff that we were trying to let go of. So
Yeah.
it's in that transition.
Mm.
And then I love this because here we are all up in our imaginations and in our higher perspective and envisioning what's coming. And then it says touching earth.
Yeah.
Now it's like, let's be real too. Let's get
Yeah. Right.
planning,
Touchdown.
right? And this says planting something new. And
Hmm.
this is the mechanics of that. This is okay, I need to plot and plan and align the things that I want to create. I'm
Yeah.
going to need these people and these elements and this much time and start to sort of formulate your general plan, um, ground into that as you continue to create. Uh, I like that because it's reminding us, you know, you're a creator and you're a spiritual being and you're also a human being. So,
Yeah.
you
We
know,
live on this earth, we,
right. And you know, we create from that we know in this daily world, right? And so we
yeah.
can. And then I wanted to say too that July is, and if you're reading this, if you're seeing this in another time, it's okay. But July is a month where Mercury goes retrograde. So that's usually a time of planning. When
Hmm.
Mercury goes retrograde, it's time for us to pause and get
Hmm.
rooted and plot it out and then take action once things are moving again.
Yeah.
And the action comes in the lightning card.
Yeah.
This is
Power.
the charge of, okay, I know exactly, you know, all the elements I need in order to make this go forward, and I'll put them all in place, remaining open to anything new that might come in or any changes to your original plan. But basically, you have the general plan, and now
Yeah.
you can put it into work. You could put it to work for you. And then our final card in this spread is the river dances to the sea. And this is that natural flow. The river will always end up in the sea. And that's sort of what we said before, the container for all the potential, all the possibilities there. And that's sort of like our energy. If we tap into source, it's all there. It's all
Hmm.
there for us. And
Yeah.
we're in the flow state and we
What
get
does it say
to,
at the top?
it says flow state,
Oh,
trusting in the adventure.
oh, trusting in the adventure. Oh, in the group, I kept
Trust.
saying, right? Trust,
You
trust,
said
trust kept
that.
coming through, but we didn't pull a trust card, but we did pull a trust card.
I did.
This
We
was the
did.
trust
I
card.
just didn't read that, but yeah, it is. It's a big element of trust for sure.
Totally.
And that's when, but once you're in that and you're in that flow and moving with trust, it goes faster. It just goes
Absolutely.
faster. Yeah.
Well, and it's what we can anchor in when we feel fear, because fear is natural and it's part of the human condition, right? But when we anchor into trust and surrender to the flow in that energy, right? The sea of trust as opposed to the sea of fear,
Yeah, but the fear
right?
has to come along. The fear,
Yeah.
I feel, should be more like little buoys or guideposts in that sea and kind of saying, oh, should I pay attention to
Hmm.
this possibility that has me fearful? Oh, you know, it'll work out, but embrace that. Let that be part of your journey because
Yeah.
fear is like, yeah, it's like a warning sign. And
Yeah.
it
It's
doesn't
information.
mean yeah, and it doesn't mean, like you said, dive into the sea of fear, but oh, should I reconsider? Should I slow down a little
Hmm.
until things become clearer,
Yeah.
right?
It's
There's always a
information.
reason for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, befriending it as information. And one of the intentions in the group was gratitude for her fears. And it's like what we're speaking to now. It's like if, seeing those signs for what they are, I have gratitude for that because it helps me guide my journey,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And speaking of, we keep referring to the group. If you're watching this and you're not part of the group, join Pause
Oh
at the
yeah.
Well, right? And we meet on the first Monday of every month. And that's a space where we first bring this reading up and we have more discussion about it. So join the group. It's free.
Yeah, join the group. It's a community
Yeah.
offering and
Yeah.
and it's an amazing space. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for presencing to that.
Yeah.
And what a powerful reading, right? Like clearing morality, right? Clearing making ourselves wrong, making other people wrong, falling into that binary. Um, really just accessing our power by letting old stories that are diminishing or letting us that are limiting us and who we can be in our lives, like clearing that past. So I just invite everyone to take a moment. And so far, what are you seeing for yourself in this reading? Wherever you are in your journey, and just take a breath in. And as you're breathing in and releasing, just invite you to surrender and release with your breath. Surrender and release. And begin to invite whatever intentionality you want to bring to wherever you are in this journey. If you're listening to it at the beginning of the month or wherever, what do you want to bring to your month? What do you want to bring to your day? Wherever you are, just being intentional about what you really care about. Yeah, so let's move into the second part, from flow to
Yeah. Like you
rest of the
said,
journey.
it's clearing. You just said that
Clearing,
word. So,
right.
and this is reminding me that remember before we talked about clearing stuff from the past and,
Yeah,
you know, when you have a lot of stuck energy, then maybe, in the beginning, you just want to sort of clear the easy stuff, the surface stuff. And this is just another
right.
level of that. This is as we go, we're invited to let go of something, maybe every single day. And I want to say too that the whole journey of the surrendering to change and moving into flow could be something physically in your life. It could be a project. It could be a relationship. Not, it could be letting go of an old form of the relationship and creating a new elevated connection. This could be something just that no one really knows, but it's within you. Like, I want to clear my old outlook, my old beliefs, my perspectives. I want to, you know, um, refresh it and be more present into now. There could be any number of elements of your life, seen or unseen, that this pertains to. And
Yeah,
so we get to this next level of clearing, which is, we're never going to be done clearing that stuff, right? It's just a
yeah,
matter of paying attention to, oh, that's not working for me anymore. Let's just let that go. And then, like I said in the group, if we don't um, work on clearing some of these levels of, that I kind of see them as anchors or tethers into the old way. And we want to be able to move forward, but we can't until we let go of that. If we don't make those choices, then the universe will usually do it for us.
yes, exactly,
So,
right.
right?
Volatility, volcano,
So
volatility.
that's when stuff blows up. And it could just be an energetic blow up. It could be just within you. It's nothing to be really afraid of. This is just an assist from the universe to really,
Right,
that's been hanging around a little long. That way of seeing things or that rendition of your relationship, it's a little stuck. Let's shake things up a little and find some, catch some fresh air to move forward.
right.
And so, we might go through phases where those little things happen, and there's nothing to be fearful of because you are in charge of every decision you make in response to anything that happens in your life. So, make a shift, and then if you have another blow up, make another shift, right? It's all we're in charge. Then I got perspective. This is,
Yep.
once the universe kind of gives you that 1-2 punch, if it does, or you
Mm.
might shake things up yourself. You might be like, I'm done with all this. Let me find a
Yeah.
new way.
Well, right.
Uh,
An awareness may come through that may create that kind of an eruption, right? Like an insight or an awareness, like a lightning bolt power comes in and opens things up. And then it's like, whoa, wait a second.
mhm.
I'm done. This
Yeah,
isn't, yeah. So that can, yeah,
yeah, that is
I love that.
definitely a possibility.
Which brings in the perspective,
And
right? It
now we have
brings,
a new perspective. Yeah. And now we get to shift and alter the way we see things and alter maybe even our arrow that points in the next step. We might say, oh, that was maybe I need to go in this direction instead. So
hmm,
widening your perspective, I think, is our best bet for navigating through some of this stuff. Is,
yeah,
knowing that you just keep going. You can just keep going, right?
yeah.
And then I got the mystic, and this one says, there is a reason you have those dreams. I love that
Mm,
saying. And the bottom part says intuition, the high priestess. It's like the high priestess card and a visionary. It's being able to see sort of like both realms and my 3D world and what's possible and what my spirit and what my soul knows I can create and what I'm capable of. And it's really just raising your vibe so that you're able to see, that whole wider perspective from a spiritual standpoint too.
yeah, raising your vibe, right? To be able to see that. Hmm.
And you can sort of feel it when you really practice that higher awareness.
Hmm.
You can feel it when someone comes along and brings your vibe down. Like for me, I was feeling really good one night. My daughter came and told me a story about one of her friends, and I felt like, ugh,
Mm.
like in my gut, I was like, oof, that's a low vibe. Those are low vibe choices that your friend is making. And I could feel it. I felt everything drop and get thick and heavy and immovable. And I thought, oof, I kind of cautioned her, kind of stay clear of that for a little while because that could really, bring you down. But you start to notice when your vibe changes once you're practicing
Yeah.
that sort of
Well,
elevated
and then we
view.
can choose, right, how to manage it,
Always,
right? Yeah.
always. And that's it. You're freer when you're in that higher realm or using that big, broader perspective.
Yeah.
The choices there's more choices because you're seeing more possibilities.
Yeah.
And, you can weave your way through. If you make a wrong choice, you just make another
Yeah.
one instead of
Yeah.
this micro focus where I have to do it this way. It has to turn out like this. And then it doesn't. Now what? Now you're fearful. Now you feel like a failure. Now, that's all low
Yeah.
vibration,
Well,
right?
I also just had a thought too that like a lot of people who listen to this reading recording to our that come to our group are highly sensitive, highly empathic people.
Yeah.
And as highly empathic people, we feel we empath, we feel the emotional states of others. And it can be it's very, very important to be discerning about what we're feeling because it can occur like it's my feeling. And
Mhm.
then I have to do something about it, right? So the responsibility lands in my system. But in fact, it's not my responsibility. And this is so critical for highly sensitive, highly empathic people to heal out of codependency and responsibility for other people's states.
Yeah,
So,
always.
it's so critical to have that self awareness of being like, oh, is this actually mine?
This
Or,
mine? Yeah,
yeah. And then you can choose from there. We can choose from there what I'm going to take action based on. Right. So it makes
completely.
me think about that
Yeah,
boundary.
for
Yeah.
sure, sure. It's our soul's autonomy that we're creating and remaining a compassionate, loving, caring,
Yeah.
connected individual. It's a balancing act sometimes because as humans, right, we're used
Yeah.
to, well, let me be there for you. I'll sacrifice everything to just
Especially
be,
women. We're
whew,
conditioned this way.
yeah, the nurturing side of us. And so yeah, it's oh yeah, I'm starting to get my little tingles on my brain, on my head. This is something that we're all learning
Yeah. Well,
and
and this is coming
exploring.
out of the perspective conversation, right? The
Yeah.
mystic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So there, yeah, we're in that higher vibe there, mystic and everything. And then I got knowing. And this is
Mm.
among the uncertainty. Your soul knows. Like our brains
Mhm.
as humans, we want to be certain, which, it's kind of a joke because We never are. We're not actually, we think we're like in control of the things that are happening, but we're not. We're in control of how we navigate it. So, but this is our soul kind of telling us, yeah, you can't really see it now. If you see that Buddha figure is behind the cloud and things are a little murky, but there's no need to panic. You don't see the Buddha getting up and running away or, shivering with fear. It's more like, yeah, if I remain, the clouds will
Present.
pass, right? And the clouds will clear and then I'll be able to see. So there's always an opportunity to pause and slow down, right? We always feel like we have to get everything done. And I've been telling that to my kids lately too, with so many changes energetically around us. We really would do ourselves a huge favor if we allowed ourselves to just pause and be aware of exactly where we are right now.
Pause
And,
at the well.
daily if you can do it, right? And then from that, I got courage. And this is from that little seed that paused and kind of said, oh, I'll just stay right here, safe, where the boulders are keeping me safe. But, eventually things come along. The change is constant. And the water will help you grow and the sunshine will help you reach. And then you become something you never knew you could be, which I love. And that's what the courage is saying here. It's not an active verb, it's a state of being and a
Absolutely.
willingness to allow for everything in the universe to kind of guide you along.
Self
And
energy.
after that flower blooming, I got another one there, lotus. This is the
Unfold.
unfoldment. And now you start to see the bigger path. With this is back to the perspective again. You start to see how, oh, things are really unfolding here. I'm in
Yeah.
it. I'm so in the flow that I don't notice, but I'm really creating waves. I'm really making change. I'm in creator mode. And
Yeah. And the
usually
lotus emerges from the muck, right? From
from the
deep in the
muck.
swamp. Yeah.
And usually the best way to see that is to look in retrospect, kind of look backwards and see, oh, I was there, but look at me now, right? That's
Yeah.
being in flow. And then our final card for that second spread is the rebirth. And that is
Mm.
just that cycle that we all go through. We go from complacency to speaking up and making our voice heard, even if it's just to ourselves or to the universe, and then to be able to create new from there and move into a new phase of our life.
Yeah.
And
And
that
it's
is a
the courage,
cycle.
the lion, right? The courage of the lion, too.
Yeah, he's there
Hmm.
in his big roar. Yeah. So surrender
Mm.
to the change so that you can be, reborn into the newer phase of yourself.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. And like you were saying earlier, if you don't already come to the group, you can go to integralbloom.com. You can sign up for the group there. And I think if you're seeing this on YouTube, there's a link in the YouTube description as well to join the group.
Yeah.
So please join. And if you like this, like it on YouTube too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.